If you didn't already subscribe, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram, TonyJones2418. TikTok, TonyJones555. Today I'll be dropping some content on trucking. Talk about trucking a little bit. Oh yeah, and also I know you guys been already complaining about my smoke alarm. I don't know, it's about 8, 9, 10, it's so many smoke alarms, man. It's about 20 of them in here or something. I done tried listening for the sound, replacing some of them, but I guess I ain't got to the main one yet. It could be the smoke alarm, it could be this, it could be the carbon monoxide little alarm thing too, I don't know. It could be the alarm, my safety alarm. I don't know, I'm gonna check it out though, but I done tried. Man, I done tried. It's so many smoke alarms. It's 2 of them right here. One in there, one in there. It's 4 of them right here up in this area. It's like 4, 5 of them in this area. They down the stairs and it's 3 levels in here. So what I was finna say though, but yeah, I'm gonna get it fixed. Yeah, give me some time. I'm gonna get it fixed. But also, I wanted to get off subject a little bit. It's a Facebook group I'm in on my Facebook called Help ID Me. It's a bunch of Jane and John Does that have been missing, bodies been found, and nobody have came forward to claim them. It's no missing reports on them. They don't know who the family members is. They don't know their names, and there's one that stuck with me. Even though all of them stick with me, but it's this one that stuck with me with this little girl. Her name is, they call her Opelika Jane Doe, because she was found in Opelika, Alabama, if I'm saying it right. I know I done went through that town a few times, I done dropped the load there and so forth. But yeah, that stuck with me. She believed to be between the ages of 3 to 8 years old or something like that. They found her in 2012. They don't have no medical records of her. They don't know her name, nobody. There's no missing reports with somebody with her description, etc. That they could say this little girl is. She was found in a remote, behind a residential area, mobile home area in Opelika, Alabama. The investigators even say that in order for somebody that put her body there to know to put her body there, had to be somebody familiar with the town. Somebody just passing through, etc. wouldn't know nothing about that area. But when they found her, of course, she was already skeletonized. I think they say she might have been dead between 1 to 2 years, I don't know. She might have been dead between, they say she was believed to be between African-American female between the ages of 4 to 7 years old. They had received a tip in 2016 that she had maybe attended this Bible school, vacation Bible school at a church that was located right in that area, right down the street from where they found her body at. They received some photos of a little girl that had something messed up with it. She had an eye condition or something like that. Something was messed up with one of her eyes. And when they found the skeletonized body of her, they say she was malnourished, and it was some kind of blunt trauma to the skull, which may have caused damage to her eye. So, but the little girl that's in the photos that the tips were received from the church, nobody ever came forward about that little girl. Nobody know who that little girl is. So they're assuming it's that little girl, which they don't have no facts. But nobody know who that little girl who went to that church is neither. They don't know her name. They don't know how she got there. She was dropped off, picked up. But I guess the school used to go around and pick up little kids. But nobody knows who that little girl is. The picture has been posted. Nobody have came forward even about the little girl that was on the picture. Even if it's not her, nobody have came forward about that little girl to confirm that that's not her.
Tonight, WSFA 12 News Defenders launches a new series called Case Files. Our team will look into deadly cases that are unsolved or unresolved to try to find new clues. WSFA 12 News anchor Jasmine Williams has our first story from Opelika.
And the dog was playing with a head, thought it was a baby doll head. But it wasn't, it was a human head. So they called the police.
The grim discovery, a child's skull and remains found, an intense police investigation, all happening 10 years ago. And now new details, new images, new tips, Still, no arrest and not enough information to identify the victim. This is a 12 News Defenders case file. Opelika Jane Doe. Eerie, cool, quiet. This was the backdrop of the location where the body of a little girl was found nearly 10 years ago in Opelika.
This case is very dear to all of us that work at Opelika Police Department and the community.
Captain Jonathan Clifton with the Opelika Police Department was on the scene that day, January 28, 2012. The remains of a child were found near a mobile home on Hurst Street. She was murdered. But who did it? And who is she? Her bones would tell the short, tragic story of her life, just not enough to solve the case.
We're talking about a child who's between the ages of 4 and 7 who was murdered, and according to all the records from her bones, that she was malnourished and she suffered from abuse.
With few leads early on, forensic experts developed renderings of what they thought the child may look like, highlighting a distinct feature, her eye, damaged, and they believe it was the result of abuse. Years later, another clue and an additional photo. Somebody at a nearby church recognized the child and said they believed she attended Vacation Bible School there briefly. But like much in this case, that tip only led to more questions.
Several years later, after we recovered her remains, we had somebody tell us that, hey, it could be this girl that was at Vacation Bible School in 2011. We have not been able to get that girl identified. We think that could be possibly her. But, you know, we're talking that was in 2016 when we found out. Well, she went in 2011, so they just kept records for a few years.
It's been years, but people in this area say they still remember the day that little girl's remains were found.
Down the street there, a young lady was washing dishes, I was told. And she looked out the door, and the dog was playing with her head, thought it was a baby doll head. But it wasn't, it was a human head. So they called the police.
Sammy Floyd describes in detail what happened that day, and he still lives in this community, the same spot on Hurst Street.
Somebody know that little girl, and whoever it is need to come and tell somebody.
We've had rumors and we've had tips all the way from New Jersey to Arizona, and we've ran all those leads down. And one of the new leads is one in Orlando, Florida. There's not a day goes by that we don't work something on this.
He believes someone knows who she is, where she lived, and what happened to her. And that someone could be right here in our state.
Yeah, so that story stuck with me, you know. That's all I like to watch is investigation, discovery, forensic files, SNAP, unsolved, all that type of stuff. Like that type of stuff stick with me. I be wanting to know what's going on. They suspect her death is a homicide. I'm pretty sure it was a homicide, a little girl that age. But like, I haven't reached out to Help ID to try to see if I could donate, me personally donate for a genealogy test. That's when they could like run a DNA to try to find some family members, etc. All that type of stuff. They'll try to get this little girl a name. You know, I don't see how somebody could be missing a child. Like even a family member could see a child one day and not see them no more, and like nobody have came forward and asked questions about where is this little girl is at. You know, they don't have no medical records, no nothing. You know, it's been since 2012. Nobody have, it's no missing reports on a little girl. You know, it's no that match her. You know, or whatever. It's no missing reports, no nothing. Like that's crazy to me. You know. But yeah, that little case sat with me. Her name Opelika Jane Doe. Anybody who familiar with that case or have any little knowledge about that case, man, I hope we need to put a name on this little girl. She been gone since 2012, and she could have been dead a year before they found her. And nobody have said who this little girl is. I don't mean to get off topic, but yeah. Okay, but back to the trucking industry. Okay, I done told y'all before, I started out with my, I went 35 years without having a driver's license. I received my driver's license at 35 years old. 6 months after receiving my driver's license, I went and obtained my CDLs. you know, my CDL license. And then 6 months after receiving my CDL license, I got my first truck at 8 months. 2 years of having CDL will make, November would have made 2 years for me having CDL license. I've been in business, well, officially up under my own authority for 1 year. January 23rd made 1 year in business up under my own authority. I'm a small fleet owner of 3 trucks. You know, I got 4 trucks. One of them is an owner-operator, 3 of mine. I'm a small fleet owner, but like I was saying, like, you know, you got people that come into the trucking business that drive, become an owner-operator, then purchase a truck, then they might either stick with 1 truck or 2, 3, 4, 5 hundreds of trucks. You know, and you got some people that never drove a truck that come into the trucking business and purchase trucks and put drivers in it. However you want to do it, you could do it, you know, for anybody that's interested in the trucking business. You know what I'm saying? It's a good business. You can't go 5 seconds on the highway without seeing a truck pass by. You know, that's how everything get here, from these, rag, toothbrush, etc. A lot of people that done did time in prison, feds, etc., changing over and receiving their CDLs also. So nothing that being a felon or whatever won't limit you from obtaining your CDL. It's like a second chance opportunity, you know. I got a homeboy who just got out. Well, he been out almost a year, probably a year now. He been out. He did 15 years in prison. He's out now. He actually obtained his CDL, and he's actually an instructor at a school right now. He teaches students right now that go to school for CDL, for their CDL class, CDL license. So he instructs the students, teach them everything they need to know about trucking so they can pass the test. You know, and he did 15 years in prison. He only been out a year. You know, so he did a dramatic change to his life. You know, that's my homeboy. Proud of him. That's a big step. You know, plus he's an instructor too. So he's teaching the other kids, and he also thinking about one day opening up a school also. You know, anything you put your mind to, you could do it. You know, anything I put my mind to, I make it happen. You got people that come in as a dispatcher, you know, brokers, it's all kind of ways to come into the trucking business that I didn't even know about until I got into trucking. You know, I didn't know all this was involved in trucking, you know, shoot. I never really even paid attention to how much stuff like that, everything that we use, eat, everything that make the world go round comes off a truck. But like I say, I'm gonna show y'all little clips of him too though, instructing his class, so you can see, his name is Derek. I'm gonna show y'all some clips of him.
All right, y'all, we're gonna perform what's called an in-cab inspection. First thing you want to do is enter your truck with your 3 points of contact. So we come here, I'm gonna grab this. Let's see, the first thing you want to do after you make your 3 points of contact, I'm gonna start with my seat belt. All right, y'all. My seat belt is properly going to secure from the top to the bottom. My seat belt itself is not cut, torn, or twisted. And also, you want to make sure that it latches and unlatches properly. Also, it's secure from the bottom to the top. That being done, you want to start with your emergency equipment. Okay, you guys, I got my fire extinguisher. It is properly going to secure it. And the pin and clamp is present. It's fully charged and it is up to date. I also have my 3 reflective triangles. Their proper color is orange and red. Plus, I have a box of backup fuses and breakers just in case. We're gonna do a safety start, you guys. I'm gonna make sure that my truck is in neutral and my brakes are engaged. And I'm gonna cut my truck into on position. Once I cut my truck into on position, you wanna make sure your ABS and DF lights come on and cut off and let you know that they're working properly. So my ABS and DF lights come on and shut off. They let me know that they both are working properly. So at this point, what I want to do, again, I want to make sure my truck is in neutral. I want to make sure my brakes are engaged. And I'm going to perform my safety start. I'm going to crank my truck up at this point. Alright. While my gauges are settling, I'm going to start with my depth tank. My depth tank, you should have at least 1/8 of a tank on your depth tank. Alright, my voltmeter is between 12 and 14. That let me know that it's working properly. My coolant gauge is at safe and proper range. And my oil pressure is at safe and proper range. My fuel tank should be at least a half to a full. But it's, I got to for the truck to be operating properly. Now what I want to do is build up my primary and secondary gauges to govern the cutoff. That should be between 120 and 140. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a little gas to try to help my trailer reach govern the cutoff. While doing so, you don't want your RPMs to go past the 15 mark. Pressure build up and govern the cutoff. Alright. It's building. I like to let it get to govern the cutoff before I proceed to do anything else.
But like I always said when I got my driver's license that the first thing I was gonna do is get me some CDL. Get me a CDL license. Like I wanted to get me a truck. At first, I was looking at it as getting me a truck, driving for myself. I wasn't too much on having a fleet, and then I used to say that I wanted only 2-3 trucks, but like you don't never supposed to limit yourself. Sky's the limit, so I'm trying to go as far as I can go. I'm trying to have 10 trucks on the road by the end of the year. But, hopefully everything work out for the good. I'm gonna try my best. But I say trucking is a good industry to get into. It has its ups and downs, mechanic issues and all that type of stuff there. That's why you gotta save. Cause you're gonna make the money, but you gotta save the money too. Cause you're gonna have your days. It get frustrating a lot. I actually had to come off the truck in January. I used to drive, but I was limiting myself on driving and making the money I supposed to make because I was always had to be home to do stuff with my driver and all that type of stuff there. So, I had to come up out the truck and put somebody in the truck. Plus I got my dogs that I breed American Bullies, and of course I got my son now. So like a lot of stuff that I'm like, I always said it'll let me know when it's time for me to come off the truck, and it was time for me to come off the truck. So I came off the truck. I feel better because I'm able to grow my business more being outside of the truck. The truck that I was driving don't have to stay parked. It can stay moving, stay running, stay making me money. Instead of me moving it here and there to take a load here and there, I could keep the truck moving. So really it came out better for me to be out the truck. There's a lot of stuff that I learned a lot of stuff by watching YouTube videos. I listened to this person perspective of coming into the truck a bit, and this person perspective coming to the truck a bit. And then I analyzed everybody's perspective, and came up with my own way, my own all that type of stuff there. So and what I used to do when I was on the truck, I used to listen, instead of listening to music, I used to listen to YouTube videos and listen to other owner-operator, fleet owner-operator, not only the ones that's successful, the ones that have failed too, so I can know not to make those mistakes. Even though I done made a couple mistakes, I done had some rough times, I thought it was over with, but I got faith the size of a mustard seed, so it worked out for me. So everything ain't always gonna be peaches and cream. This is my first year in business, my first year ever running a business, you know. So so far I'm holding up, you know. So far I'm holding up, and me, I've done been through so many struggles. I done had so many ups and downs in my life. So I already know how to handle situations. So hey, you know, like I done been there, done that. So you know, hey, you can put me in the middle of the woods, I'm gonna find me a way, you know. So so this ain't nothing to a giant, you know. So but this the best thing I could have did with my life was get into trucking, you know. Like if I would have been known about trucking like how I know now, I would have been got into trucking, you know. But sometimes things happen for a reason. But like I say, like if you want to drive, you know, you could do good driving for a company, driving for yourself, you know. It's all up to you, you know. And like even coming out of school these days, like it's a lot of like people say, oh, you can't go local coming out of school. Man, there's a lot of companies taking drivers fresh out of school local. You don't even have to go over the road. So like females who got kids who want to be home, men who got kids who want to be home, you know, that opportunity is there. You know, less stress, less work, you know what I'm saying, and more money, you know. So I say take the opportunity, you know. Dispatching, that's a good career to get into. Brokerage, that's a good career to get into, you know, because you got to go through the brokers. Well, you got some people that got straight on, they got straight loads from the customer, you know, and the shippers and all that type of stuff there, you know. Me, I use a broker, you know. I don't use a dispatcher. I done tried out a dispatcher here and there, but I pretty much dispatch my own loads. So sooner or later, I'm finna go ahead and get me a dispatcher, because I have so much stuff I be trying to do, like, you know, and like a lot of stuff getting in the way. But trucking, like the start your trucking company, you got to first, you know, figure out what kind of lanes you're gonna be running, what kind of products you're gonna be transporting, reefer, dry van, flatbed. Me, I do dry van. I do some reefer here and there, you know, but reefer, dry van, flat. I'm finna get over into the flatbed too, though. I'm probably gonna throw a flatbed on one of my trucks. But yeah, just figure out what lanes you want to run. You know, like stay in your lanes. You know what I'm saying? Work that lane, build some relationship with some brokers. You know, they'll be calling you. You know, like, hey, I got this lane, this load coming from this way. Do you want it? You know, I just had a broker just call me who I was working with not too long ago, and they just offered me another contract. So, of course, I told them I'm gonna take it because I missed that contract. But like I say, like you'll have brokers reach out to you. You know, first you gotta obtain, like you gotta get your truck, well, obtain your MC, figure out what kind of equipment you're gonna be using and all that type of stuff there.